Hello, December the 12th, 2012. We're 2 days away from the 12-12-12 date and a number of extra days away from the 21st and 22nd of December, a time long written about, a lot of speculation, a lot of anticipation about what is to come, and also what is to come next year, 2013. Over the last week or so, I felt something starting to build with regard to what I needed to say with regard to these key dates from Archangel Metatron's perspective and energy. And I had been told up to now to keep the dates quite quiet. It didn't feel right for me to be attending anything particularly big or with lots of people, or to be doing anything like that myself. And there was a part of me that couldn't quite understand why, but I sort of understand now that I'm supposed to be doing some work online and getting this particular message out with regard to victimhood. And if you're watching this, the first thing I want to say is well done, because a lot of people will probably have seen the title of the video and thought, that sounds a bit heavy, don't think I want to listen to that. So yes, it is a serious subject, but the whole point of talking about it now is that we have this extraordinary period of high vibrational light and love coming in, particularly centered around these two key dates, or three key dates, but really the whole month of December and then into January. And so sometimes we need that huge influx of light to really look at the deepest, darkest wound that a lot of us carry. And the analogy I got just as I was tuning in to this was that what Metatron is saying is that everything is almost being reassorted, if that's such a word, it probably isn't, but everything is being, all the pieces of the jigsaw are being changed around. And what's happening is that for a lot of people, and I know this is the truth, a lot of people are really being forced right now to be looking at aspects of their life that are deeply uncomfortable, and these may be things that they've carried for years and got away with. It may be patterns of behaviour, it may be situations, it may be things that they're doing, but it's becoming a very uncomfortable place. And the reason why it's happening now is that actually because it's safe to look at it, because we're going to have huge help to clear whatever it is that we're being asked to look at this month. A lot of people are fixating on what is going to be given to them around 12-12-12 or 21st of December, 22nd of December. And yes, I agree with that there is beautiful help and support and love coming in for all of us. And I'll talk about that on the second part of this video. But it also feels as though we have some collective work to do with regard to really letting go of what we can this month. Because the analogy is, it's almost as though we're going to be gifted something very beautiful. And so therefore, do you want to carry that beautiful gift into next year, still knowing really that within you there is situations or habits or behaviours that are quite toxic and that you might have sort of patted down and tried to ignore, but they're still there. And what's happening at the moment is they're not being allowed to just stay undercurrent and simmering. They're actually being brought to the surface to really be looked at one final time. And for me, I'm talking today about the behavioural pattern of victimhood. And with that, I also want to talk about rescuing, because if you're watching this and it resonates as a pattern of behaviour, you either are somebody that is exposed to somebody in your life who is a victim, and by that I mean somebody who always looks on the negative side, who only sees maybe fearful outcomes in things. The jar really is half empty, it's never half full, and it's a very destructive place to be. And often what somebody does with that sort of mentality is that they try to bring somebody down to their level. So it's hugely damaging to be around it. It's very easy to say, well, just remove yourself from that type of person or that type of situation. And sometimes that is possible. And that is what I would say is the first thing that you should do. However, sometimes it's not always that simple. Sometimes there are people that are in our life and we are very close to. They may be our children, they may be other family members, they may be parents. And sometimes it's not so straightforward to just jettison somebody because their behaviour isn't in agreement with your own. So the victim certainly is somebody who always is looking on the negative side of life and very draining to be around. The rescuer is somebody who always sort of leaps in to help them out and will always be the one to prop them up, keep them going. And it's a relationship which is very codependent. You almost can't have a victim without the rescuer who's actually going in to help them. So watching this, maybe you are aware that you fall into one of these two patterns of behaviour. And if you do, what I am feeling Archangel Metatron is asking on 12-12-12 is to help clear this particular pattern of either being the victim or being the rescuer from our psyche. And it is appropriate on 12-12-12 because 12 is a numerological number associated with the victim mentality. And so to have it 3 times, we've got like a triple message, haven't we, coming at us. Within the colour system that I use, number 12 is a bottle which talks very much about what is it that stops you from living a joyous life? What is it that stops you really from living heaven on earth? What are the aspects of yourself or others around you that prevents that from happening? If we take it up to the next 12, so 12 and 12 making 24, we step into the energy of love, money and creativity, which is really saying that if we can let go of that old stuff, we can actually step into something far more beautiful. And then 12 and 12 and 12 equals 36, and bottle 36 is the gateway. And in a way, that is what we're being offered this December. We're being offered a gateway into a new way of being. And I don't know about you, but I really feel as though the pattern of victim and rescuer has played out very strongly in my life up to this point in time. And I've been only aware of it really consciously as something that I have been doing as the rescuer over the last couple of years, and have done a lot of work on trying to change that. But I feel as though what Metatron is saying, it's like it's one last push. And I'm sitting here talking to the computer screen, but I know that there's going to be a few people out there that this is going to resonate with. And is that saying that it's like when one or more is gathered in my name, then miracles can happen. So let's use this opportunity for clearing patterns of victimhood within ourselves and within our family line. And also, of course, this ramps right up to community level and country level as well. If you look around the world, there are some countries that actually display the role of victim and being, I'm not talking about money here, this is nothing to do with money, this is to do with mindset. Whereas there are other cultures that are much better at actually pushing themselves forward and stepping into their power. Because really this is the whole thing. If you're locked into a relationship, whether the rescuer or the victim, it's a codependent relationship, and it is one where you're not fully stepping into your own power and your own light and being a fully functioning human being in your own right. So let's use this special time. The other thing that Metatron is saying to me, just as I'm sitting here as well, is the whole aspect of communication. Communication is so vital to help break these patterns that we often hold within ourselves. And I feel as though Archangel Michael as well, who governs the colour blue in particular, and who is very good at helping us to cut cords of attachment, wants to help with the work that we're going to be doing. So together with Archangel Metatron and Archangel Michael, and also the energy of Jesus, which is obviously very apparent this December. It always is, because it can't not be. It's the anniversary of Christ's birthday. We have 3 powerful, potent energies, and we have 3 very significant days, 12, 12, 12, 21st of December, and then the 22nd, which is the stepping into the new. And what I really ask is that together we look at this pattern of victimhood. And on the next video, I'm just going to give you some tips and some tools, maybe a short meditation as well, to help you to release that as much as you're able to, so that you're able to step into next year, 2013, free of that baggage and actually able to access all the beautiful light and love and help that is available to all of us this particular month. But it just feels as though, how can you really do that if you almost think of it like a battery meter, you're actually filled up with a lot of resentment or sadness or any other destructive emotion that's out there. So yes, let's focus on the beautiful things that are happening this month, but also let's give it one final push to really clear what we can clear before these key dates. Okay, watch my next video and I'm going to give you some tips as to how to do that. Thanks.